Oh my gosh, Socceroos, we have just about secured our place in the 2026 World Cup after defeating Japan for the first time in 16 years. This is a historic victory for Australia. Drop your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts on this match in the comment section. Join the discussion. Elation for Australia after what was a funny game. It wasn't Australia's best game, that's for sure. Japan in the end, probably the better team, but Aziz Behich, the left wing back for Australia, stepping up at the crucial moment at the end with an incredible goal, a phenomenal strike, a curling effort past the outstretched hands of the goalkeeper to put Australia in an incredible position now where it'll take an absolute miracle from Saudi Arabia to, knock Australia out of that top two position. Heading into this game, I mean, we were talking a lot about the lineup in the lead up to this match, and, I even postulated that maybe we could see a change in formation from Australia. We didn't get that. It was still the back three for the Socceroos, but for a lot of this game, practically a back five. As looking at the lineup here, Chikati, of course, returning from injury. Great to have him back. He was fantastic tonight. I thought he was very, very good. Deganek, Burgess, three very solid defenders there. Lewis, Miller and Behich in the wing-back positions, a midfield of O'Neill and Teague, and then that front three, Boyle, Metcalf, and it was Brandon Borrello leading the line for the Socceroos. And obviously, you look at that lineup, even regardless of how the game went, even in the early stages there, you could tell that this was a game where Socceroos were going to be doing a lot of defending, utilising the counter-attack, especially with someone like Brandon Borrello leading the line, who has plenty of pace and very good at pressing defenders. It looks like that Socceroos were going to be utilising the counter-attack, and that's what we did try to do. And we really struggled to get into the game towards the end of that first half. We started to create, a couple little half chances, but it was plenty of defending. As we know, heading into this window, Japan were resting some of their star players. That has been spoken about a lot. The fact that Japan haven't necessarily named their strongest squad for this window of games. Obviously, they have already secured their place in next year's FIFA World Cup. But look, for the Socceroos here, it was a lineup that was capable of getting a result here in the end, defensively very solid. And overall, we did do very well at the back. Really tense game. Japan were pushing us at times when Australia were in possession. We just didn't have any time, any space on the ball. They were shutting us down really, really well, nullifying any sort of momentum there for Australia, which is why we struggled to really get into the game. Even in the second half, it was the same story. Defending, waiting for those little opportunities. But again, it wasn't really coming. We saw the substitutions in the second half, even at halftime, making a couple of changes in McGree and Yazbek coming on to provide a bit more energy in the midfield and in the final third as well. Mitch Duke coming on, Guerrier in the right wing back position as a substitute, and even Arzani towards the end as well, the five substitutes for Australia. But it came right at the death from Aziz Behich, who is coming off the week of his life. A fantastic game, an incredible game in the A-League Men's Grand Final last weekend to lead Melbourne City to the championship in the A-League Men's competition, and then score a massive, massive goal for Australia here to just about put us in a World Cup spot. Incredible for Aziz Behich. What a week for him. He's a real Socceroos star, if he wasn't already. He's been a key player for Australia for many years now. And look, there was a lot of talk, again, from me in particular on this channel, talking about Geordie Boss and his emergence over the last few years. And if people who have watched this channel for a long time will know that I'm a huge Geordie Boss fan. I think he's one of the brightest stars that Australia has ever produced, and he has an enormous potential. And it looks like that Geordie Boss was going to be taking over as that first choice left back for the next decade or so. But Aziz Behich, man, in his 30s now, but he is in incredible form, and he's playing some fantastic football. And if he's producing moments like this for his nation, he has to be the first choice left back going forward, surely. But hey, it's good to have quality options there in that position. Looking at the stats is quite interesting. These stats coming from Google. Japan, 13 shots, but just the one on target does sum things up a little bit. Look, they were threatening. They did create opportunities. But Matt Ryan wasn't necessarily tested all that much. They weren't breaking into the box all that much, really forcing all these saves out of Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was pretty comfortable in the end. Australia 6 shots, 3 of those on target. You can see the possession there, 69% to Japan, 31% to Australia. Plenty more passes to Japan as well, 640 to 297. Pass accuracy was a little bit low for Australia. Again, like, it wasn't Australia's best performance, but we have completely forgotten about that due to that goal at the end. And that's football, man. That's football. That's the game. It was a matter of defending, and that's what we've seen from Tony Popovic so far. It was reminiscent a little bit of the other match against Japan at the back end of last year, where we had to do so much defending and almost won that game. And this time we do win it in the end. I mean, it's an incredible effort to defeat Japan, one of the top footballing nations in world football. Really, now we can say Japan are just an incredible football team. But on home soil here in Perth, in front of almost 60,000 fans, Australia won, Japan 0. The first victory for Australia over Japan in 16 years. As we look at the group standings, it is pretty much done. At the time of this recording, Saudi Arabia set to play Bahrain in the early hours of the morning here in Australia. And if Saudi Arabia fail to win that game, the Socceroos are going to the World Cup next year. It is secured. But hey, if Saudi Arabia win against Bahrain, who knows? They could pick up a big high-scoring win, and then they would need another big win against Australia to kick us out of second spot. So it's going to take a huge effort from Saudi Arabia to get the job done in the end. But Australia, surely we are there. What a moment for Aziz Behich. What a moment for the Socceroos. Drop your thoughts on this game in the comments section. The Socceroos so close now to securing our spot in the 2026 World Cup. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure to hit the like button on the way out. Stay subscribed for more Socceroos content right here on the channel. My name's Lockie, and I'll see you in the next one.